Hi, I am Aki from BTE Argentina, and in this video I'm going to talk about how you can start building on the Cono Sur server. We're going to talk about everything from installing the mods to learning the techniques that we use to recreate the Earth in a 1-to-1 scale. Before we start, something important is that you must have a premium Minecraft account. We know a lot of people come to build, but they get left out because they don't have a premium Minecraft account, but it's for legal reasons. We cannot accept illegal Minecraft accounts. On the screen right now, you'll have timestamps to all of the parts of this video. So if you're interested in one part specifically, you can go to that timestamp and watch it. And you also have timestamps in the description. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is head over to buildtheearth.net. This is the official Build the Earth website, and click on Join the Discord. Once you've joined the official Build the Earth Discord, you can click on Join a Build Team. And here we can search for Argentina to apply to their group. We click on Open. And from this page, you can join their Discord and apply to be a builder. We're going to look at the application forum at the end of the video. It's going to ask you to log into My Build the Earth. So we just click there, and it's going to automatically link up your Discord account with your My Build the Earth account. Here I'm all logged in, and it shows the two groups which I am a part of and I'm currently building on. You can also join other groups as a member to see their progress. Once in the Discord server, you can head to #info and check out the stuff there. You have the Builder's Guidebook, which is in Spanish, but you can ask for the English version. We're interested in these links up here. The link in the first step is for the official BTE Modpack installer, and the next link is the BTE Cono Sur custom modpack. We don't have the same modpack as other BTE servers because we modified it a little bit because there were some mods that were causing problems. Once you've downloaded the files, you want to right click them and click on extract here. We will open the official BTE modpack installer first. Once you're in here, don't click on anything, just click install. If you have Minecraft installed, it should create a new Forge profile with the modpack. Next, we're going to extract the file, which is the custom modpack. Sometimes an error will pop up. We can solve this by extracting it with 7-zip instead of WinRAR. Next, we are going to search %app data percentage and click on roaming. Then .build the earth, and then mods. And we're going to delete everything in this folder. And then copy the custom modpack files and paste them on our mods folder. And now everything should be ready to play on the server. Once we open Minecraft Java on the Build the Earth profile, all that is left to do is get into the server. I will put the IP address on screen, but you have it in the description if you want to copy paste it. Once in the server, you can head to any flag in order to teleport to the lobby and visit what they're doing. If you step on the beacon, you get teleported to the lobby. When you first enter the server, you don't have any country tag, and you're a visitor. In this case, I am a constructor because I already have that role. What you have to do is go to the Discord and ask for them to give you the postulante role. That will allow you to apply for builder. So once we step on the pressure plate next to the beacon, now we get the country tag, which in this case is Argentina. So we step into the beacon and we're in the lobby. Most of the cities marked on the map don't have pressure plates. This means that they don't have any finished builds or in progress builds. So in this case, we are going to go to Buenos Aires and to Retiro, since I want to build near there. If the place where you want to build is not near a warp, then you can easily move around using Google Maps. Okay, so when you open Google Maps, you will see it like this. It's a normal map made up of drawings. It doesn't show any real life images. So we're going to click on satellite to make the map in satellite mode, and then click on the little globe mode to activate the 3D imaging. Now we have Google Maps set to the correct settings so that we can build precisely. Later on, when we're going to see how to build a building, you will use maps in these settings. You can deactivate the street names and all of the stores by clicking there. Okay, now once you selected a building that you want to build, you have to teleport to it. What you do is you left click and some coordinates will show up. So then you copy these coordinates and paste them into Minecraft using the command /tpll. Now in this case, the building I want to make is next to a street that I already made. So that means that this street is made with the correct measurements and all of that. It is not newly generated terrain, which is most likely what you are going to encounter. As you can see, this is the type of terrain that the mod generates. You have streets with concrete, you have bricks for the building outlines, and you have grass paths for the paths. Now, look at the difference between the generation of the mod and what I built. Not only the height difference, but the position and the width of the street. This is because everything the mod generates is wrong. So now I'm going to show you how you can flatten an area in order to get the desirable altitude using Google Earth Pro. The download link will be in the description. So for this example, I'm going to flatten out the area in the intersection of Santa Fe Avenue and 9 de Julio Avenue. Now it is important that you have a 3D activated with Google Earth. If you have or don't have trees activated, it doesn't matter. Okay, so on the bottom right hand of the screen, you will see the elevation. There it says 20 meters. That's the elevation of where you are pointing your mouse. So if you point it at the top of a building, it will tell you the height of that building, but we're going to use that later. Now we're interested in the height of the street. In this case, in that intersection, it roams around 21 meters. An important note is that this is not 21 meters over the surface. It's 21 meters over sea level. That means that we're going to have to flatten everything in that zone to Y level 21. Now if I go into Minecraft and I press F3, you're going to see that at the bottom of the second paragraph it says looking at, and it says 19. That means that that is at 19 meters over sea level. So we are going to head out to that area and we are going to start to flatten it out. Once we're here, we are going to grab our world edit axe, and a little note here, you cannot do big operations with world edit if you are not builder. So keep that in mind, that while you're making the two buildings that you need to make to apply for builder, you won't be able to do big world edit operations like flattening out an area. So you're going to have to ask somebody that's online to help you. So we are going to dig until it says looking at 21, and we're going to select that with a click. That's going to be our first world edit selection. And now I'm going to do //pause2 to mark the second position. That command basically marks the position at the position of your feet. So now we are going to do //replace and all of those numbers air. That means that we're going to be replacing everything we typically encounter in the ground except the road. And that means that we're going to get rid of those brick lines because they're disgusting. Alright, so for F3, you can see that the floor is at 20. We'll work around that later. For now, we're going to do /remove item 1000. That means that we are going to remove any seeds or mushrooms that fell when we did the set air. You can also do /replace water air or replace lava air. If there are any lava pools or water pools in the area, you flatten that out. In this case, it's on the side, so we're just going to cover it. You may also encounter spawners, and you break that with your hand. It takes 5 seconds. Now we are going to flatten the road up to the level 21. So with that same selection, without selecting a new one, you type in replace 251.7, 251.7 with the little bigger and smaller symbol. If the mouse is open towards the number, that means that you're going to flatten the road downwards, like in this case. It's up and we need it down. If you put the little mouse the other way around, you're going to make the road go up. So we spam this until it says 0 blocks have been replaced. Now it's important not to do it too fast or the server will kick you for spamming. It's just the inconvenience of it kicking you and you have to enter back. You don't get banned or anything. Alright, there we go. It says 0 blocks have been replaced. This means that all of the road has been flattened out to Y level 21. Now we're going to shift 1 U. That means shift 1 up. Basically, what we're doing now is going to get rid of all the excess road that is above Y level 21. As you can see there, the looking at was 21 when I pressed F3. And the region that I did before was engulfing the 21. So now we put it 1 up so we get rid of the excess. And we type in / replace 251.7 air. And it gets rid of all of the excess road for us. Now, this is still at Y level 20. The floor is still at Y level 20, but the road is at Y level 21. So we're going to want to fix that. So we select the first point. As you can see in the middle number from the first position message, it is at Y level 21. Same thing here, Y level 21. And we do replace air with grass. So all the air gaps in the middle have been replaced. And now it's a nice flat grass area that you can use to build in. Now I'm going to go back to where I had my building that I wanted to make, so we can do that. Alright, we are back here, and as you can see the buildings are kind of floating because I did this on a ramped surface. Now in most buildings this is not a problem because even though the street is at an angle, the building is usually straight. So in the case that you are making streets, you're going to want to determine which is the exact position in which the street goes up by 1 meter. So what you want to do for that is you need Google Earth, because Google Earth is the only one who can tell you the height. For that we are going to press this button here. I don't know what the translation is because I have the program in Spanish. And where it says latitude and longitude, we'll select the decimal one, the first one. Then we'll put apply and accept. And as you can see now it's in an usable format. I don't recommend using Google Earth's coordinates for buildings. I only recommend you use it for this where there's a street that has an inclination because of 2 things. One, you cannot select it and copy and paste it like you do with Google Maps, and it's not as precise as Google Maps. So I only recommend you use this technique when a road has a height variation. So if we go to Google Maps now, we're going to mark out the outer shell of the building in order to know where it is positioned exactly. So we are going to mark one of the corners and copy those numbers and do a tpll to that position. And do the same with all of the corners of the building. In this case it's 4, but if the building is some sort of weird shape, you do that for every corner. You also need to use this method in order to determine where our streets at, where our sidewalks at, anything. I've even used this to determine where the air conditioning on the ceiling of a building are. TPL is your best friend. So in this case, this corner is shared with the building next to it. So since I already did a TPL for that building, I can determine that they share the same corner. Or if you really want to, you can just grab the block on its side. If we go to Google Maps, we can also see that there is a link, that there are coordinates in the link. When you're in satellite mode, don't use it. It will just take you to whatever place. But when you're in street view, you can actually teleport to that exact coordinate. Now, I only recommend doing this for like placing lampposts. So if on street view, you park yourself right next to a light pole and you just copy the coordinates from the link. But don't use it for the street, because remember, you're teleporting to a point. If you do the street based on street view coordinates, you're just going to have a bunch of points that are, for example, in the middle of the street, or well, you don't know, the car could have moved on different part of the street, you don't know, so just use normal tpl. Now here, I didn't flatten this area, so it's full of stupid bricks, which I am gonna go ahead and delete because they do nothing but get in your way. So once you have the 4 corners marked out, you can select with your wooden axe the first position, the second position, and then you can do /s line and the block ID in order to create a line between the 2 points. After connecting all of the corners, you'll have an outer ring to your building. Now, in order to see the block IDs, you can press F3 and H, and that will make it so that in your inventory, when you hover over an item, that item will display the numeric ID, which in the case of white concrete is 251/0. So we're going to type in /s line 251.0. Select the first position, second position, and do the same thing, and connect all of them up. So once we're done to that, we are going to head over to Google Earth, and we are going to check the height of this outer shell. Now, as we can see on Google Earth, the height of the shell is 59 meters. There are some added details like that, I don't know what it is, that terrace up there that has like a weird shape, that's probably higher, and there are a lot of stuff. But now we're interested in raising up what we just made, that outer shell base that we just made, raise it up to the height of the building, and then afterwards we can add the details that go a little bit longer. Now, distortion. There is distortion in the world, obviously. The reason for that is that we are trying to project an Earth that is not flat into a flat Minecraft world. So the project has a specific representation of the planet that only distorts a minuscule amount, but that amount is still there. And in Buenos Aires, it's 1.3. How do you calculate the distortion? Well, you do tpl to one point, tpl to another point. Then you do a line between them, and if you know the distance between those 2 points in real life, you can check how much blocks World Edit just put in and say, well, if World Edit just put 200 blocks, and if in real life it put in, I don't know, 215, you can divide 215 divided by 200, and that will give you the distortion in that area. Like I said, in the case of Buenos Aires, it's 1.3, and it's vertical distortion. So what you gotta do is subtract the Google Earth reading of 59 meters that we got from the floor height. That means that in this case, the floor is at Y level 15, so we need to subtract 15 to 59. We can use the World Edit calculator. It is 44, and then we gotta multiply that result by the distortion factor, which is 1.3. And then I'm going to add the distortion to the floor level in order to determine the Y level, that means based on the sea level height of the building. Now, as you can see, between 59 and 72, there is a great difference. Distortion is a very controversial topic, and I want to state, this is not like TPL, something that you have to do. You don't have to account for distortion. In my opinion, when I account for distortion, it just looks vertically stretched, which I don't like. So what I do is evaluate each situation, and if the building does not look right, if it looks a little bit small in terms of height, I add the distortion factor, so I make it higher. If the building looks right, just like Google Earth's height, then I leave it like that. Now, there are some people that use distortion all the time. There are some people that don't account for it at all. Personally, I evaluate it with each situation, with each building. So it's up to you. it's not a must do like building with tpl. So now I am gonna do stack 50 up, which leaves the top block at Y level. 59 just like Google Earth's height, and I'm gonna do some on 50 and some on 72 like you saw before. So as you can see, that's the difference between 72 and 59. It is a big difference. So what you can do is go to Street View and kind of check out if you like it like that, if you don't, and decide for each situation. That's what I recommend. So for this building, I decided that I want the Google Earth height since I think it looks better, and I am gonna continue stacking up. Now once you're done with this shell, you can add the details like the balconies, the windows, that weird thing that we saw on top, which I'm guessing is like a weird terrace. I don't know. They have a pool up there, I think. A very important thing, we don't do interiors. If it's a public place, like maybe a gas station, if it's a restaurant, you can add a couple of tables, but not too much details. For example, I do a lot of train stations and I do them fully interior because that is a public space, and if you have the information and if you want to do it, but it has to be a public place, and it's not a must do. Since we don't need to build interior for these private buildings, when you do the windows, you just add either black concrete or sea lanterns on the inside. What I recommend in my first builds, I put sea lantern on all of the windows, and it looked like all of the rooms were turned on at night, which doesn't look like that good. What I recommend is once you marked out all the windows and put in the glass, you go inside of there and you just randomly select some windows to have sea lanterns and some windows to have black concrete. That way at night it looks like some rooms are turned on and some rooms are not, which gives more life to your buildings. So the last thing is details. There's a thing called warp assets where you can go and copy and paste other creations that other members of the community made. You can get custom heads, banners, weird blocks, logos, and most importantly, trees. There are a lot of trees here. There are about more than 160 trees. You have some generic ones, and then you have from different continents. You have from South America, North America, you have from Europe and from Africa. Now these letters you have to manually copy them. You have some cars, but they're not up to scale. You have weird blocks. Now a little note here, you cannot use these things in assets which involve command blocks if you're applying for builder. If you are already builder, you can use them, but if you're still applying and you do not have the builder role, you cannot use them. Like I said, one of the most important things of assets are the trees. There are a ton of trees to choose from, and trust me, even though they seem to go on forever and there is like 1,000 blocks between the start of the trees and the end of the tree assets, you end up repeating them a lot in your builds. So for example, here I'm looking at the South American ones, and on the left hand side we have the Europe ones. For this example, I'm going to use this small one because it's going to be easy to take down once I finish the demonstration of how to use it. So we're going to go back to our building. Something to keep in mind is that when you place the tree, if there are any blocks that are in the way of the leaves or the trunk or the branches, it will replace them. So if you're building, keep that in mind because it can destroy your buildings slightly. Now as you can see, I placed the command block and the tree appears just like that. Once you have completed both of your builds, you're going to go to the link in the description and it's going to take you to the forum to apply to be a builder for BTE Argentina. Here I'm showing you the Chile forum because I can't access the Argentina one since I am already a builder on that team. So you're all ready to be a builder now. You just have to wait until you get accepted and you can use all the features that the server has to offer you in order to be able to build efficiently. and I hope to catch you online on the server. Goodbye.